My name is Ashley Rodriguez, and this is Philosophy and the Office PowerPoint presentation. What is philosophy? Philosophy is the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. Who is Socrates? Socrates professed not to teach anything, but only to seek answers to urgent human questions. Socrates was a widely recognized and controversial figure in his native Athens, so much so that he was frequently mocked in the plays of comic dramatists. Though Socrates did not write anything, all he is known for is what his peers have written about him. At the age of 70, he was brought to trial on charge of impiety and sentenced to death by poisoning. Though Socrates did not actually write his apology, Plato's Apology of Socrates, purports to be the speech Socrates gave at his trial in response to the accusations made against him. That brings me to Socrates' apology. As we see Stanley here in the right-hand corner, he says, "I do not apologize unless I think I am wrong. And if you don't like it, you can leave." And I feel like in this day and age, everyone wants to relate to a Stanley because everyone feels like they need to be right about everything. If it's not done their way, you will have them upset. And Socrates wrote, "How you felt, O men of Athens, at hearing the speeches of my accusers, I cannot tell. But I know that their persuasive words almost made me forget who I was. Such was the effect of them, and yet they have hardly spoken a word of truth." Who do I relate to most? I would have to say Michael Scott. To say the least, philosophy is a subject that I have found the hardest for myself. I feel like I know nothing when it comes to this subject. I feel like I can study and use every note I take, but it's still not enough. In a way, I feel like people do not understand Socrates' quote, as they might take it as he did not know anything himself, yet it was him just not wanting to brag on how much he really does know, or should I say did know. His quote was, "As for me, all I know is that I know nothing." And Michael Scott says, "Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way." That's definitely me all the time. Socrates, the real hero. Being described as a hero, or being told that Socrates was brave and fearless, but he did not call himself those words, they were given to him, which makes him an exceptional man. When calling yourself a hero, as Michael Scott does, you sometimes, it's not the best. You want to do it for fame and attention instead of like being called it by somebody else. Heraclitus. He was known for saying that everything is constantly changing. Things that are different are still the same, and that for that reason, everything is and is not the same. So Heraclitus says there is nothing permanent except change. Heraclitus and Michael Scott, two men with different thoughts. Heraclitus asserted that the world exists as a coherent system in which a change in one direction is ultimately balanced by a corresponding change in another. Change is good. Heraclitus believed that everything was always changing and that everything is but is not the same. So when Michael Scott makes a comment that too much change is not a good thing to ask the climate, I assume he believes that change is bad, while Heraclitus believes that change is good. Heraclitus says that no man ever steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river and he is not the same man. Pluto and his beliefs. Pluto, I'm sorry, that should say Plato. We will get that fixed. Each person should devote his life to what best fits them. He believes that poor leadership would lead to bad decisions being made. Justice is given to whom deserves it. And we have the divided line, becoming opinion, being intellect. So, Plato's comparison of healthcare. Plato argued that immortality is to the soul what disease is to the body. His argument was to answer those who thought that morality is set of social conventions, and in that sense is contrary to nature. And Dwight says, if you feel defeated, you will become defeated. And I feel like that's how we all look at things nowadays. If we feel like it's too much, then it will be too much. Philosophy and comedy TV. I have a link here I would like for you to watch on the philosophy of Dwight and how you will see philosophy. Real philosophy is nothing compared to comedy TV and how they pursue Dwight Schrute. In conclusion, after taking a look back at each slide and seeing how different philosophers are compared to comedy TV shows, we see that The Office is more comedy-based on fantasy situations compared to how philosophers back then truly felt about life situations, apologizing, change, healthcare, being a true hero, and relation. Here you will see my work cited, and I thank you for your time.